All right, troops, Happy New Year. Looking forward to this chat tonight because this is one of my favorite Michael Dudikoff films. And I hope you all had a good holiday. So I'm just going to get straight into it, bring everyone in. First of all, I'm going to start off with Charlie. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How was your Christmas and holidays?
Busy, but fun.
Yeah.
Good time. See family.
Yep. Same here. Yep. And next up we have Sean. Hello there.
Hey, what's up?
All right. And next up we have Stephen.
I gotta say, Charlie looks shocked to be the first one in. He actually looks surprised when
waiting to be last.
I was last to log in, so I was like, I'm not gonna be first.
No. And then of course we finish with J-Man.
Hey.
There he is.
So I shaved my beard off, as everyone noticed, but it's growing back like 3 days and it's coming back, so that's not so bad. I feel naked and I hate it. In fact, yeah, Charlie, just give me yours. I'll just live in yours.
I'll share. Yeah, just come on over, bud. I'll do it.
Plenty of space. I just sleep in there. But no, by like next week it'll be like fully back. It doesn't take too long. So
there you go.
But it was so cold when I went outside. And it just felt air in my face. I was like, ew, this sucks.
That's what happens when I do this freshly. You walk outside, go, ooh, I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but you know.
Here we are.
About a hat, yeah. Not good.
That's why I wear a hat most of the time, yeah. So tonight we're going to be talking about Avenging Force, which is one of my favorite Michael Dudikoff films. In fact, maybe actually my favorite. A controversial statement. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, what about American Ninja? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Avenging Force, I think, like a lot of people love to talk shit about these movies and the canon movies because, as we say, we never knew people looked down their noses at them or thought these movies were bad back in the day. I was like, no, I just always thought they were awesome. I've always enjoyed them. But Avenging Force, to me, I like it because it's such a dark film in terms of like the story. Like when I was watching it, I forgot how shocking it is. Like with Steve James' character and his family. And by the way, spoilers alert in case you haven't seen it. But just like, you know, his family is just like wiped out in like a horribly cruel way, and like the bad guys are just absolutely vicious in it, with the amazing John P. Ryan playing the main villain. And it might be the best villain introduction of all time, where, you know, sometimes it's normally badass, but this guy is standing in a tree with a mask smoking a pipe, and he's just like, what?
It's pretty awesome.
And it's like, okay, you don't even need, the movie could literally end there and it's a 5-star movie as far as I'm concerned. It's like that's already a classic right there. But so initially started off as a sequel to Invasion USA, because Matt Hunter obviously was supposed to be Chuck Norris, but Chuck Norris passed on it for some reason and wasn't interested, so they rewrote it and then aimed it for a younger guy, and that's why they brought in Dudikoff. I think Dudikoff really makes the role his own. Okay, here's one before we talk about the movie. Who played the better Matt Hunter, Norris or Dudikoff?
Wow, that's a tough one, man, because Chuck is, Matt Hunter in, Invasion USA. Most people don't even know these movies are connected in that way. So you could just take it as, well, they just ran out of names. It's canon. We're not shocked by it. But, God, man, I treat them like parallel universes, once you know that. Like, I don't know if I could pick my favorite.
Well, Chuck, you got to pick Chuck. Look, Invasion USA is a bloody masterpiece of insanity. And Chuck Norris is like pure fire in that movie. Michael Dudikoff plays this more as a realistic person, like that person could exist.
He's
in
a normal guy. Yeah.
Chuck Norris is in like your hyper masculine fantasy. Like, I mean, it's I don't know what to say. It's just Chuck Norris being awesome.
He's playing it in God mode, basically.
So there you go. He's using cheat codes.
I'll give you that because Dudikoff gets his ass beat in this movie, brutally. Chuck Norris, no, you're not messing with the Chuck. Okay, I changed my answer. I agree with Jay, man.
Yeah, I don't think. I think if it was, I actually don't. Oh man, if it was the same script, well, I guess they rewrote it though. But if it was the same script with Chuck Norris, that'd be weird. Because Charlie, as you're saying, is like, he's taken a lot of damage. I mean, I understand what's happening. They're making it tougher for him. It's like he's got to fight the odds. But like, I don't think Chuck Norris it wouldn't have gone that way, right? He would have like dominated it a bit more,
approval, right? So he has the better lines too. In that
realistic, to be honest with you, it's just be weird to me. It's like when I was watching Protector 2, and RZA was beating up Tony Jaa for a while, and I'm like, no, I'm out of the movie now. But I never beat this one.
Yeah, Protector 2 sucked. I love the Protector. My favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna watch that. And I was like, how did you follow this up so badly?
Yeah, part 1 is bloody awesome.
Yeah.
It's right up there with Ong Bak and.
I agree.
Yeah.
That should be a future one. Ong Bak versus the Protector. Ooh.
Impossible.
Ooh.
Can't be done.
Yeah, it's more harder than what you're asking us to do right now. So
It's impossible. It can't be done. I've tried it. People have gone insane. I've seen people writing on the wall, Ong Bak, no, Tom Yum-Goong, no, Ong Bak. It just doesn't. It can't be done.
And they end it all.
And then they just commit suicide, and they're like, the guy tried to decide between those movies. They're like, the doctor's like, really? Like, that was a dumb move. Like, what was I supposed to do?
You can't decide between that. What's interesting about this is, like I say, how dark it is. Like, you think, oh, it's going to be some cheesy 80s action movie, and it is, because, like, the bad guys look like they're out of Mad Max or whatever, or some gay porno or something like that, the way they're dressed. Cancelled.
Goodbye, everybody.
I've just been sentenced to 1,000 years in the Phantom Zone. But apart from, like, the way they dress or whatever, like, they're nuts, but they're, without saying anything, there are people who still think like that in the world today, and it's scary.
We have to be careful. Owen's past 1,000, so we're just saying it's an extremist group or whatever. That's it. We're
on a certain side.
On a side. On a side.
So,
I mean, you're talking about that. I think that whole thing in this movie is probably the reason why people don't like talk about this like they do Hard Target or Surviving the Game or any of the other man versus man movies.
Yeah,
dark isn't even the right word as far as undertones to this movie.
Disturbing.
It's just flat. Yeah, disturbing is the best way to go on what is driving the villains in this, and it's scary, real. Like watching it again today, you're just like, damn, there's like you just said, there's groups out here not far from me that exist like that, man. And it's terrifying.
Sean, tell us about some of those groups that you're part. No.
Out of all of us, it's Sean.
That's
one here.
That's why. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Sean was blind, it would work perfectly.
Well, as we're all like bullying Sean, then Sean, what are your thoughts on the movie? We'll start off with you.
So J-Man showed this to me.
Yeah,
it kind of passed me by back in the day, and I've seen it a few times since, and I'll just mention this because I think this is led to a revival and popularity for this movie, but it was featured on Red Letter Media. And they went through like every single sequence and everything. Yep. They liked it too. So, but yeah, and I think from that people are like, oh shit, what's this movie? Because I think everyone thinks of American Ninja and all that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Steve James was ever a lead in anything.
Was he a lead in part 3?
Riverbend? Is that what it's called? Riverbend? He was the lead in that. And that was another Sam Fierstenberg film, and that was actually a really good film. And I think they're working on like a 4K of that just now. But he died, unfortunately. Like he was only in his 40s, so he died so young.
Created cancer.
Yeah. Sucks because he was.
No, he's awesome in this. It is. I mean, I already knew what happened in the movie. Watching it again, it's like it is a bold choice to wipe out the very thing you're trying to prevent. But I guess it just becomes thlet's just get them right. But no movie would do that now. Like just go for the jugular. Like at the end of the day, you're like, okay, well, it's great that we finally got rid of these guys. There's the one guy left that like for a sequel.
Can't imagine who it is.
Yeah.
No clue. It was Sean the whole time.
That's what I say. Sean is the 5th member of Pentangle.
Yeah. I always thought that was a stupid name for them. I'm sure it has some sort of roots in.
I was like Pentagram, and I was like
Pentagram, yeah.
It sounds like a gem villain or something. It's like, you know,
oh my god,
like, god damn. But anyway,
sounds
yeah,
like
no,
cool
it's
name.
awesome. And it's an underrated thing because this is the kind of action movie you think of when you think of canon action of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this on Blu-ray or anything. I don't have.
Of course.
I think was it Shout Factory or somebody? Somebody did like a special edition of it.
It's like a Shout thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a Kino
Was it Kino?
Lorber? Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And I watched some of the there's like a Dudikoff interview and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I watched that. He talked about the continuity error of Steve James's wife beater being gone in the next scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Steve James came out and he's got no tank top on, and he's like, and Michael's like, where's your tank top? He's like, I'm not wearing it. And he's like, but the continuity you're supposed to, he's like, he goes, Michael, come over here. I worked out so much to get this body. He's like, I'm showing it off. I don't have a lot of scenes in this movie, so I'm going to make sure I'm showing him. And he's like, but the continuity, he's like, I don't care. And then they just shot it, and you're like, "Oh, okay. I guess he doesn't have a shirt on."
Did they ever explain the sound effect thing? Like it's a theme throughout the movie where that sound effect, like whenever someone dies, and it's like and then at the very end when he walks towards the camera, they have the thing, and I don't know if it's like.
I think it's the soundtrack, maybe.
I think it's just part of the soundtrack.
The spirituality of the thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're reading too much into it.
Yeah, that's normally your job.
It is a distracting sound. It's like, well, someone dies and it's like,
It's no worse than every single gun when it shows up on screen, it cocks. Whether they move their hand or not.
Yeah.
It's like if I raise my gun, it doesn't go on its own.
Oh,
but in this movie, it does every single time.
Yeah. Anyway, it's an awesome movie. So.
Agreed. Stephen, what do you think?
I actually think I saw at least the beginning of this because I saw the opening and I was like, did J-Man show this to me? Because I just assumed J-Man showed me everything at some point or another. But the rest of
not
the movie,
everything. I have some secrets.
He did. You do. But it's funny too because I asked my dad, I'm like, have you seen Avenging Force? My dad's 81 now, so he just sort of goes like this, and I'm like, yeah, you probably saw everything we've talked about in the last like 6-7 years here. It is very dark. I was actually quite surprised at how dark it was because the son dies at the beginning. Spoiler, sorry. And I'm like, okay, that's the shocking death to lead to the mission of revenge. And then the halfway part goes, and I'm like, what just happened? Like it was a slaughter. My sense of humor being what it was, I could not stop laughing when Dudikoff fell off the roof with the kid. I
and the dummy
laughing hysterically. I missed the next couple minutes because I was laughing so hard.
And you sort of see the legs like not moving at all.
I actually missed what they said. He just showed up I'm like, I guess he said go for the niece or the sister 2 weeks later. I literally missed all of it because I was laughing so hard at him falling when he fell off the roof with the kid.
Then you missed the most brutal kill in the movie. Then because they double tap the kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Off when these
and the wife is like
yeah.
Right. And that one dude they're talking to Dudikoff, and you're like, okay, maybe they'll take the kids because Steve James goes, protect my son, make sure he lives.
Yeah.
And we watched them double tap that kid. Just pow, pow. No more kid. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. By the end, you want them all dead in horrible ways, Especially for some reason, I hated the bald dude with the mask. I was just like, this guy really pisses me off. Like, I can't say why.
It's Crocmaster. Sean and I call him Crocmaster.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
He has the thing,
Crocmaster up there.
Yeah, I love Crocmaster. Yeah.
Just that whole speech he does with all of them, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, oh dear God, this, because we talk about that sort of thing as if it's recent. No, we're talking like 38 years ago.
Yeah.
And this sort of thing was coming up, and I'm like, forget about. I don't know how the sister mastered the ability to speak all her dialogue without her lips moving.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I watched the making of. She was dubbed by another actress. So
yeah, that has to be, because I was just like, every time she talked, I was just like this to the screen, because I became fascinated with her lips not moving.
It's probably why she was dubbed, because I don't think she was like enunciating.
Yeah,
order. Her front teeth were bigger than the rest of her mouth, basically. So I was like, I'm not picking on her, but I was like, man, has to be why they dubbed her. But the dub is terrible still too. It's like, do that a little bit better next time.
But this movie does
Stupid
something.
Child.
This movie, when you hate villains, this movie does the right thing in that he takes them out one at a time. I'm a big fan of, I don't want any double deaths or, hey, they got hit with a bomb. When they're that bad, you need them to physically be destroyed. I love, especially the first kill with the sword. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It definitely went places I never thought it would go. But just that scene of Dudikoff and the kid fall, I just laughed for I literally think 2 minutes straight. I could not stop.
Oh boy, this is what we're dealing with, guys. laughing at children's bad teeth, laughing at people getting shot and falling off rooftops, and I mean, this is insane.
It's that laugh that's like, I can totally picture Steve laughing at that.
We all can.
Yeah.
That's
big time. I laugh at stuff too, but then when Steve laughs at it, it's like a new level of laugh, because he really commits to it. I'm still trying to contain it a little bit, just so I'm not so I don't, because people will look, we're watching Saw
10,
and we're cracking up because it's hilarious, and we're all laughing in the back row, the four of us, so we're kind of laughing, but we're kind of trying to not commit to the laugh, because then people are like, are these guys actually? Because there's a laugh where you're like, okay, this guy's laughing because this is pretty outrageous, right? But then there's Steve's laugh, who's like, he's really enjoying this a little bit too. It's getting a bit weird.
It's scary, yeah.
It's like, you ever see where someone says, "Oh, look, here's a picture of my teenage daughter graduating," and then you look at it, you're like, "Oh, she's cute," and then you give it back. Not like, whoa, that was cute. It's like one of
hello, ladies.
It's like Steve's really committing to something. Like, I think this guy actually thinks this is funny, and this should happen to people. I'm like, and then we're like, no, we're not with him.
Steven's over there, got a notebook flipped out, laughing his ass. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, this is a good one. This
is a good one. Yeah.
He's a writer. He's a writer. It's okay.
Yeah. How much blood can you lose and still remain conscious? What? No, I don't.
Good, guys.
Moving on from that, one of the things which I love about it is how real the action is, in terms of they actually fought in those swamps, those dirty ass swamp water and everything, and Dudikoff did all his own stunts.
Yep.
And you can tell, and they weren't afraid to just get down and dirty there. And I was like, that was gross. So well played to all involved for doing that, because it sure as hell wouldn't be me.
Right.
He was covered in leeches. So in the interview on the Blu-ray, he was covered in leeches. He'd pull them off, and there were ones he wouldn't even find. It'd be like, he'd find them. He's like, what the heck? This has been here. And he got some infections on his stomach, and he was scratching himself so hard, he's bleeding. And he's like, Sam, he goes, I'm bleeding. He's like, use it. He's like, use it in the scene, use it in the scene. And I'm like, that's canon. Yeah. They should retitle it canon, where the big boys play. It's like none of this. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't continue on because I didn't get my latte, so I can't do the scene. It's
get in that swamp.
Yeah, get in that swamp. All right.
Yeah, because apparently he ran through spider webs, got an ear infection, and contracted a skin virus all for his art. So nobody is allowed to complain about their latte or their Danish on set anymore.
Do they explain the rain? Because if they're shooting for so long, that rain has to be fake. So were they pumping the swamp water and raining it down on them, or
I didn't watch the commentary. I only saw the interview.
It was sunny at points. it didn't match. The weather didn't match up all the way through because it was raining and very sunny at points, and I'm like, okay, that's being pumped in.
Yeah, there's parts of it where I feel like they're on a set, but I'm like, I know this is canon. They're not spending that kind of money. But I'm also going like, where's the wildlife? Like, I haven't seen one damn snake, one just passing shot of an alligator.
Yeah, no gator. There should be some gators there.
And then after he kills the sword dude by, flipping him onto that stump, they are fighting around 100 other stumps and missing them by inches. Like, there's a couple times where I'm just like, dude, that's a butt pucker moment. You realize how close you were to fall. Like, are those fake? Are they styrofoam? What the hell's going on right here? Yeah. Canon, we don't give a shit. If he dies, it just saved us money on that.
He dies. Exactly. Charlie, what do you actually think of the movie?
Oh, I love this movie, man. This has been for some reason I haven't watched this in a long time. Like, I don't remember the last time I seen it. I remember watching it as a teenager because I went through like all the movies, it's like went through all the Chuck Norrises, went through all the Van Dams, and I'm like, okay, who's next? Dudikoff, the American Ninja series, stuff like that. And then I found Avenging Force, and I think I'm with Owen. Like, I think this is my favorite Dudikoff movie. Like, this one's right there, man. American Ninja gets a little campy at points and a little silly.
Oh yeah,
that's
one the entertainment of them. Yeah.
And that is. This one doesn't really do that, especially from canon. This one gets dark. You would expect almost like this a storyline for Charles Bronson, for how those would get dark. But no, watching this again today, I was just sitting there going, Jesus Christ, man, this is a dark ass movie. It's awesome. I love it to death. I mean, we can sit here and poke holes and, laugh at some of the things, but good Lord, my only downside is I really wanted that dude to just yell out, always the hard way at the end of the fight, because he's the general from Delta Force 2, and that's all he would yell the entire movie.
That was the president. I always remember.
Exactly. He gets on the chopper with the other dude, and it's the only way I can picture him. And now he's like this like maniacal badass, bad guy. And I'm just like, oh wow, this actually kind of works. I like that final battle too, with all the weapons surrounding them and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sets are great, story's great. I mean, so much that a lot of people do forget. Like, this came out before Hard Target and all these other movies. Yeah. I know that type of story's been around for a long time.
The Most Dangerous Game, I think, was the initial one, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then that they've carried on, and I really think it's those undertones in this movie is why people don't lift it up higher, because even I would have to be like, okay, if I recommend this to you, you gotta have to understand this certain thing, depending on who I recommend it to. I would at least want to give people heads up on that. That is me.
Jay?
Yeah, so I saw this. I'm gonna say this. I like American Ninja better, but Avenging Force is the better movie.
Fair enough.
American Ninja is like a super childhood. The first 3 movies I ever recorded on my first VHS player was Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3 of Domination, and American Ninja. And I've watched them. I've probably memorized American Ninja. I've watched it so much. I got the butterfly knife. I practiced all the time. I'm pretty good at it. I love, anyways. So Avenging Force, I would rent everything and I bought this movie. So we'd go to Zeller's. You saw something. Yeah. Did you screen saw at your wedding? Oh, I don't know. That's something that I would do if my wife would.
Because you can't do it for public, but we did have a cake topper that was, the scene from the first Saw.
Oh.
I'm fucking with you guys.
That's awesome.
It was just a severed ankle.
That's what. The old ball and chain, cut the foot off. It's totally fine.
Don't invite me to your next wedding then. I'm not.
23 years, dude. I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Well, so we rented it. We would just buy movies by the cover. Like, oh, this looks cool. Bought it. There's like all the guys on it. Right away, I liked it because there was a guy. There's each. Like Hard Target just had guys in suits or guys in pants and stuff. This it has Mark Alameo from Gul Dukat from Deep Space Nine, who's awesome.
Yeah.
But each guy looked cool. So you're like, oh, there's kind of like a ninja guy, and there's kind of the Croc Master guy.
The white
mask
guy was cool.
Yeah, the white mask guy. Yeah, he's kind of a ninja guy with the white mask. because he's got the swords and everything, and then you've got the mask guy with the pipe and everything, so he's like the smart one. So I thought that was really neat. I thought, these could be anytime it's action figures, I'm like, these could be action figures.
Yeah.
And you're introduced to the villains first, which is good, and they're complete pieces of crap. But they're pieces of crap, but like I like that they're cool with each other. It's kind of weird.
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah, like when they're having their dinner and stuff, and their ideology is okay, they're insane, but I love that they're like, yeah, and like, this guy's one of the best martial artists in the world, yeah. And it's like, woo, and they're introducing each guy. I was like, I don't know, these guys are kind of cool. Like, this is really cool. And then he starts getting into a speech. You're like, oh, this took a downhill. Like, like before you heard the speech, you're like, okay, this is just like this brotherhood of guys. And you're like, look, they're a-holes because they're hunting people. And, and then he's like, well, we're sick and tired of these end people. And I'm like, whoa, I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, and the thing is that Steve James is like one of the damn coolest characters ever. The first clip I put on my channel was every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass. That's the first clip on my streams thing. I love Steve James. When he dies in this movie, I'm effing pissed.
Yeah.
Like I'm still pissed. I've seen it. I'm like, F this. I'm getting angry again. I'm like, I've seen this like 14 times. I'm still angry. And like, F all these guys. And then they kill the kids. F that. They killed the kids. So they killed the wife. Look, he hands the kid. And he's like, don't let my son die. You're like, okay, man. And then it's like the very next scene, the kid's dead.
Yeah, Steven's laughing his ass off, but
Steve's laughing. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Fave Dudikoff, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I literally have zero complaints on this because the action feels real. Like I can't even think of it. I mean, it sounds outrageous to say. It is a 10 out of 10 canon movie. Like the story is good enough to. It's a simple story, but you're emotionally involved in it because you're like, well, they're killing people for bad reasons, obviously, but they're killing good people. Like he's a good man. He's a family man.
Father,
He's a father. He's teaching his kids karate and all that. That's really interesting. Yeah. And then you've got the camaraderie of like him and Dudikoff together. It's like, yeah, we're cool. I don't know. Like there's enough action to get through it. It's 103 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, it's like 90 minutes. 90
no,
it's
about an hour and 40. Yeah.
No, it's an hour and 40.
Yeah.
It's not noticeable though, because
it's not. It goes fast.
That's why you're thinking it's 80 minutes.
Remove. Yeah.
And actually, it was funny too because my wife and I watch a show, and I was like, "Oh, I thought I can watch Avenging Force before the show starts because Avenging Force is only like 80 minutes or something."
Yeah.
And then I'm watching like, "Oh shit!" I did the timer, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is an hour and 40 minutes." So I had to stop watching because we watched our show, and then I went back to thing it and finished it. But it was so weird because like I literally thought like, well, this movie is so fast. Like I could watch this, but it actually is longer. So it's good. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything bad. It's hardcore. There's no bullshit in this movie. They would never make this. No. Not even close today. Killing the kids off just like that. It's like, the kids shoot it. It's like wife, shoot her. Kidnap. Then they kidnap the girl and they're going to throw her into they're gonna
traffic her.
They're gonna traffic her.
She's gonna be trafficked. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, and they're making her up, and you're like, and then there's that fellow there.
That whole sequence is all. Yeah, that whole sequence is just really tense anyway, because you're like, what are they all going to do here? And it's kind of like it's like Southern Comfort.
Yes.
Yeah.
But sort of like that. You're like, what the hell's going on here?
You get this realization that this is the community that they're part of. So everyone there's involved, and you're like,
they're involved.
Shit.
They're having a party and they're like handing out friggin' hot dogs and shit. And it's like, and then the guy's like, he's like, I'm looking for a girl. Yeah, no problem. You want a little girl? Come on up. It's like, no, I'm looking to get her out of here. It's like, oh, okay. Like, oh my God. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't think of like,
it's wild. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know, but it's Yeah, I mean, it still holds up. When people like look down their noses at these films and laugh at them, I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is better than pretty much any movie that's been out in the past few years.
Easy.
It's up there, absolutely.
Yeah, like not these two. There's a few. Obviously, there's John Wick and
we're not when we say that, we're not counting that. We're talking like the Netflix release movies, shit like that. One thing I took from this movie, and I was no, that one's good too. But there's one thing I was watching this movie going, man, people can't replicate this for some reason, and it's a damn good car chase. That car chase in this movie, it goes on the perfect amount of time. There's enough action. I laugh when they go through the construction zone, and then for some odd reason, two cars just randomly crash into each other. Like it's a work zone. People, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But that whole sequence and that GMC jumping the bridge, I mean, that's such a canon thing, man. Oh, there's a drawbridge near us. See if they'll let us jump it. And they fucking jump a real bridge. That's awesome.
Today it'd be CG. Yeah.
It would all be CG. Yeah. It would be stylized. This is not bashing, like the John Wick around the roundabout shot. That's stylized. That's just having, a cool moment. But a good, gritty car chase. I think Nobody was the closest I've seen, and it was too short. Like, I wanted that car chase in Nobody to go longer in that Challenger, and they're chasing him. I wanted it longer. This one, perfection. I loved this car chase in the movie.
The thing is, about this movie and just these old movies, and this may be a weird thing to say, but they take place in the real world. Like, it looks real. Everything looks fake today. There's like green screen or everything just looks like unreal, but it just looks real. You know what I mean?
There's filters on this movie looks like it's like, look, that's a real place. That little area, that's real. That's really happening. They're selling this girl off. It's right there. Everything is, I love John Wick, but like, they put all these filters on real. Now, John Wick is supposed to be a bit fantasy-ish. But some of these movies are supposed to be normal. They've got these filters on. There's like 400 filters on them. You're like, what is this? Sean, was this? Oh God, I don't want to mention. Are we going to mention Man of Steel? But we have to. I have to mention it. It's like you're watching Man of Steel, and then we watch Superman, and I remember Sean. We're like, where is this? Remember, Sean? What scene was that? Where you're just like, where is this happening on Earth? Like, where? Like Smallville does not look like Smallville. It's like, what is this place? Like, it looks like some weird.
It's almost ethereal when you watch it. It really does. No, I love. This is filmed. This was we have a camera. We are filming this.
Yes.
And good God, I just love this type of. That's what like we were saying. Like, Canon gets shit on so much about having bad movies. These are some of the greatest 80s and 90s movies there are, man.
I watch them more than most of the shit that's been released in the past 10 years.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I bought that big, collection of Canon movies. I love watching the Canon documentary. One documentary I've watched more than most movies, is I would rather just listen about their history of making these things.
Speaking of which, hold that thought. I got something to show you.
All right.
Everybody stay where you are.
If he comes back pantsless, I'm out.
Well, that's a standing thing, though.
Yeah. And J-Man be off screen, but he'd be like,
I don't know where it is. Balls. Okay,
all that build up for nothing.
What is the fucking thing? Do I have it here?
This is just like when they say the first month on OnlyFans is free, and then you click it and you gotta pay your credit. Got to put your credit.
Yeah.
We still need.
So you're told. So I'm going to tell you. So there's a massive book on it's the Battleground or something, and it's all interviews with Sam Fierstenberg and everything, talking about like all the Canon films, and it's this massive tome, which I do have somewhere.
If it's that big, you can't find it. That's scary.
It has a room of its own. I think
it's the apartment next door.
Yeah. That's really annoying. I know it's around somewhere. Anyway, it's an awesome book. And if you're a fan of like Canon movies or whatever, it's great to get, because it just goes into all these like behind the scenes stuff, lots of interviews and things like that. And really, it's just a must have. Also, like, I really wish Michael Dudikoff would come back in movies. Like, he's not like old. He could still do like a decade or two yet of some movies. I kind of hate that he kind of just sort of disappeared. I don't know if he like just retired or whatever.
I was looking at his filmography. He's still been making movies. It's just no one's heard of them. They're like low budget movies.
So he's gone on to that where it's almost like you could get him for an independent movie fairly cheap.
Yeah.
A flight, pay his hotel bill, you know. I mean,
yeah, now even Tarantino brought him back. Like that guy brings everyone back. So.
Yeah.
Hashtag bring back Michael Dudikoff.
Well, we had the perfect vehicle and no one fucking bothered to call the guys we actually wanted. He could have been in Expendables.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know.
Yeah, but Megan Fox was much better.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
Oh, and was it this book? Was this the book?
Yeah. No,
No?
actually, it's not. It's called. It's like the Battleground or something. Hold on.
Battleground. All right, let me check.
None of this works on a podcast, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so glad this is a video.
The Battlefield,
format.
the cinema of Sam Furstenberg.
Oh, okay. Battlefield.
Yeah, the Battlefield, the cinema of Sam Furstenberg.
Okay, I'll find it.
So, but yeah, it's awesome. It's really no matter where it is. What we're talking about, yeah. I mean, the fact that we had like 4 Expendables movies and Dudikoff was never in any of them.
No.
I feel like he's kind of that tier of niche for most people. They're not going to remember him as, like, most people aren't going to remember him as an action star, but he totally was, right? It's not like they had like Cynthia Rothrock in those movies either.
On the Dragon Wilson.
Yeah.
There's a tier that they're looking at, and they don't even think about, like everyone else, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that Gary Daniels in the first one.
Oh, okay.
And he's the same tier as them. So, and even like Dolph Lundgren, I love him, but most of the movies are straight to video.
Yeah,
he ever got a theatrical release these days.
I think he's probably got almost more straight to video than most of them combined at this point. Not knocking them. I mean, they're making their money. I mean, it's fine. I mean, if Dudikoff's happy where he's at doing these things, I mean, I think he still does the con circuit, so he still goes around and signs autographs.
He wants to do. He said, "Call me for Avenging Force 2." He's like he'll do it right now. He's like, we gotta do part 2. Find Sean from Pentangle.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
It's frustrating how they have no idea what they're doing. Like John McTiernan, what's he doing now? Nothing. Why the fuck don't you get the director of Die Hard and Predator to make an Expendables movie?
Because they're not allowed to. He's still technically canceled.
Yeah, he's canceled.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, but you raise a good point. How come the Expendable movies only focus on the actors? What about the people that made the action? Get them, make it like a production of everyone who was in these older movies is now producing them together again. It's like, they did this in Star Trek, because in Star Trek you start to have Nimoy and Shatner doing some movies. It's like the people who were there from the beginning. It's like, I'll take on, I'll direct the damn thing for if you need somebody, right? That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, like imagine Walter Hill directing an Expendables movie.
Oh my God.
I mean, that would be awesome. And then you have like Michael Ironside and all these people and the villains, and where you have like the evil Expendables and the good Expendables, whatever. Because like they haven't really done that. Where like the first one really they did, where like there's the full group, and then the second one there's just Van Damme and Scott Adkins, and that's it.
And then a bunch of names. Yeah.
The third one is Mel Gibson, and then nobody else, just a bunch of nameless people. And then the fourth movie is Iko Uwais and Andy Garcia. And
an action movie can only be as good as its villains. A lot of times, you need to hate this Avenging Force. You hate these villains.
Yeah,
like you said, we want to watch them die painfully. And that works. So you can have one good guy against all these other guys as long as I know that they're going to die a brutal way.
And the thing is, like particularly actually the Expendables 4, when you think about how bad that movie looked and just everything looked fake, and you compare it, and when you use like a throwback to classic action, it's like, no, they're not. They're not at all.
They're not. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. If anything, and I'll probably get a tirade of abuse of this in the comments, the one that actually feels the most like a throwback to the 80s is actually the third one, because it's him going around putting a team together.
Yes.
And that's really what they wanted to Expendables in the first place. You know what I mean? So there's that, and actually, when I watched the unrated version recently, I was like, I don't hate the third movie. I think it kind of looks better whenever you watch the fourth movie. It just sort of raises it up a bit, where this movie is a fucking masterpiece.
I'm a Ronda Rousey fan, so I liked having her, but I understand Expendables 3. It's just not what we exactly wanted.
No,
like, I get it.
No.
It's just like Jason Goes to Hell. They're trying to get you, like, you want to see Jason. You're waiting to see him because you've been denied. It's like the Expendables. It's like he disbands them and then he gets these new people that are not good enough. The movie is saying these new action stars are not as good as the old stars. They're not good enough. It's like, but unfortunately, we're seeing them on screen for a long period of time and we're missing what we don't have. And then when we get them, we're excited and that is cool. But I don't know how you could have done. It would have worked if it was like a TV show maybe and there's a few episodes out the characters and they come back, but when it's just a standalone movie and you're like but then part 4 you kind of have them but they don't do anything. That made my top 7 most disappointing movies of last year.
It was my number 1 most disappointing movie of last year.
It was bad. I mean,
I guess it was,
is they're all together at the beginning. And then I actually like to search for the new Expendables group. I like Kelsey Grammer and him just going around doing
that. That whole part's cool on that one.
And Mel Gibson has this wicked intensity.
He's good.
I didn't know. I don't think he knew what movie he was in because you got Kelsey Grammer and Sylvester Stallone being buddy cop, getting nukes. It doesn't match. But I'm like, hey, this is good, and the ending's good. I didn't care about the new characters, and I didn't think the reason the movie gave me why we needed to get new characters made any sense. He's like, oh, you guys should have family in that. I'm like looking at Dolph Lundgren.
Why didn't you just kill them off the old cast if you wanted to and replace them with other action stars, whatever, who you worked with before, and else you bring in Dudikoff or whatever else. And then, like, if it were me, if I were to do the movies, I would like kill some of the cast off in each movie, and then you have a different cast for each one, and then they're genuinely the Expendables, because they never earned the name. Oh yeah, they're expendable, except everyone's surprised.
Like how the first one kind of started, where Dolph should have died. He should have, been done. I know we're supposed to be talking about Avenging Force, but Owen said something just a little bit ago, and now we're talking about Expendables. If you wanted to make it go, because I love part 2, don't touch part 2. You want to roll into part 3, the evil Expendables. Have Mel Gibson mastermind, and he is partnered with Kelsey Grammer, and they're taking him around to build this team. But what ends up happening is Stallone is building the evil Expendables that have been planted for him to go on a mission for. He gets in trouble, and the old ones need to come back together. Good Expendables versus bad Expendables.
There you go. Is that so hard?
They should have had the beginning. I would actually one up that and say, you know what? The beginning, there's no Stallone. You just assume that, so you just assume that they're assembling a new team so he could have the same part with the beginning part. They rescue Snipes and all that, and then you see Kelsey Grammer and Mel Gibson, and you're like, it's like we're assembling a team for an important mission. They're getting all these people together, and you think, oh, okay, and then they're like, Stallone is evil. This Barney character is evil. We got to destroy his guys. You're like, oh, they've been gathering an evil team to fight. I mean, and you've been thinking that they're gathering the new Expendables, but they're actually gathering the evil team. Or whatever.
You can flip it around on the audience.
Flip it around.
It took me right back to there's an episode of A-Team where there's an evil A-Team that has to fight the good A-Team, and I was just
B-team?
It's a B-team basically. But if you give me the bad Expendables versus the good Expendables, and then that could have been. The old ones are better than the new ones. Still, you still get that whole, ideology.
That's much better, much better. And then exactly. You still get the theme, which is the new guys aren't as good or whatever.
Yeah, and then tagline: heroes don't retire, they reload. Boom, done.
Oh, that is genius.
We got it, boys. Hollywood, call us.
Yeah,
I don't think so. You've noticed our gender, skin tone, and preferences, right? So it's
sorry, Sean, you're out.
Sean. Well, no, Sean still there's 3 criteria. There's 3 things. Sean's still 2 of 3. So they wouldn't let Sean direct an episode of Ahsoka or something. They wouldn't even let him,
I wouldn't want to direct an episode of Ahsoka.
It would have to be written properly first.
Right.
Written. What was that word?
Right.
Written? No, I don't know.
No, they don't understand.
I don't know.
Also, just randomly, the Mandalorian and Grogu is a terrible name. Why didn't they just call it the Mandalorians?
It's not, whatever they've announced. They've announced 4,000 projects that have gone nowhere. They can Greedo, the prequel.
Yeah,
I just announced one.
Yeah, what's that Lando series they kept promising?
Lando.
They canned it already.
Disney really are full of shit, though. I mean, just they have no idea what they're doing, and they're making up as they go along. It's like, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and it's like, why don't you just give fans what they want? Like, what you could do is, I don't know, use fucking deep fake or something, just to give everyone a scene with Han, Luke, and Leia. And again, just because you didn't give us that in the pointless sequel trilogy.
All anybody wanted for all those years was to see the 3 and Chewie and the droids, those characters together right now with their either offsprings or whatever it is together in a movie. And then you could kill them off.
Yeah.
We never even got one movie with the 3 damn people together. Like the leads together. And I want Chewie and the droids. And Lando. I want all of them together in one effing movie. And then if they get killed, they get killed, and then Luke has a son or a daughter or whatever you want. Right. I don't understand. Anyway, whatever. Greedo Han, exactly. Greedo Han shot first. Coming soon, Disney. I just announced it. Breaking exclusive.
I'll believe any of these movies whenever they come out. I mean,
yeah. When you decide to not watch it on Disney Plus, then I'll say it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so
well, Canon gave the fans what they wanted.
That took us 45 minutes before we mentioned Star Wars. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's not even an hour in, and it's like Star Wars. Oh my god!
Because it's important.
We were already on a tangent about Expendables, so I don't know if that really counts.
The problem is, like, we all like the movies, whatever, we all like the movie. There's not much to debate. But it's
Avenging Force, badass. All right, now to the real dirt. Now let's really dig into the movie.
I can't do my naysaying. I can't really think of anything that bad.
So at the end, at the last guy, right? So after he kills the last guy, he doesn't go into that room and do anything to those other guys. They're just
I know. He just leaves them behind, and I'm kind of annoyed that we never got a sequel to it, because like you're left with that the pentangle is still around, and you're like, okay, well, it's not a satisfying ending then, because you know they're still out there, and you're like, you should have just.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I wanted him to be wrong about Brown. I wanted him to be not wrong. I wanted it to be that I thought in the sequel they could have done a sting. It would have been one of the guys in the room, but not Brown himself.
Yeah, one of the two other guys that we watch in the movie. Yeah, you know, the other agents, but they just laid way too hard on the Admiral to be. Yeah, when he literally goes, you know, if anyone else dies, I will shoot you. You're like, and they do that. Everyone like looks at each other, and it's that whole. I was waiting for that music in the background going dun dun dun. You know, he might be evil. I don't know. But all we get is the face off at the end where he lets him know, I know it's you. But this was also canon in their death throes. They were really hoping that this one was going to save them for most of it, but they could only afford to put it in 500 theaters, which is why this one didn't get the traction it needed. This is top tier canon. This one should be up there with the great. This one should have made Dudikoff a household name.
He was signed on for Spider-Man.
He was signed up for Spider-Man, Captain America.
Yeah, he would have been a great Captain America.
Yeah. Because I think Chuck turned this one down, they realized, well, Chuck can now go wherever the hell he wants to go. He can say no to us now. Yeah, Dudikoff can't say no to us. You know, we can still have our star and put him in things, and they couldn't keep the wheel rolling. You know, eventually their business model caught up to them. Sell the movie before it's even made, and eventually you're gonna run at the end of your rope on that, because you're not bringing in millions of dollars in return. You're just investing $1 million that you made right back into another movie.
Yeah. Also, props to the top row here. Sorry, Stephen and Sean, but we're all wearing 80s t-shirts. So Jay, you've got your Canon t-shirt. Charlie, your Predator, and me,
Predator.
I got
Beverly Hills Cop.
Nice.
What do you think about this new Beverly Hills Cop? I mean, we're going to watch it, obviously.
Oh yeah, it actually looks all right from the trailer. It looks better than I was expecting. I'll give it a shot.
I like that everyone's come back pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna watch it. We may bitch about it, but I'm gonna watch it.
Well, once it comes out, we'll rank all 4. We'll do a stream and we'll rank them all and see how it all goes. I haven't watched any of them for a few years, so I'm looking forward to sort of going back into it. When's it out? Do we know when it's out?
I think it's summer. I don't think they gave it a date, but it's summer. I think
summer.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, and here's one. So you're making an Avenging Force sequel. Bring back Michael, and who else do you cast? Like who would be the villain in this one? Because like I think the guy who played.
Well, you'd have to set up like obviously you can't just go ahead and redo the Most Dangerous Game storyline. That's done.
Yeah.
So now you need some type of other like
maybe they get into government or something, and it has to be almost more covert or something, or he goes undercover or something. Like that.
What if Chuck Norris comes back and they're both Matt, and it's like, and it's like Matt Hunter was just maybe they were brothers, and it was like it's just like George Foreman. They're all named George Foreman, right? All of his kids now.
We just never knew one was junior and one was the first.
One was first, one was junior, and then so and then they're like Matt, what's going on? And then they team up, and it's like I'm sorry to call you in, Matt, but Pentangle is still around, and it's like this goes deeper than you think, Matt. It's like we're gonna have to go deep down. It's like. And that'd be awesome to have the two of them together.
Bring in the terrorist organization from Invasion USA.
Yes,
and then so now you can
Rostov's son is out for revenge.
Exactly. He joined Pentangle. He's now one of the new heads of Pentangle. Give Pentangle the whole Hydra thing. You cut off one head.
Infiltrated everything, and that's the thing. They're in the government and all this.
Exactly.
Like, how do we?
You think Pentangle was only 5 people? We're everywhere. We're Legion. It's like we own the government. We are the government. We are the police force. We are the FBI. It's like you Hunter brothers, and you can call it the Hunters.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's because they're good. I'm really like that one a lot.
They keep talking to each other, and Chuck Norris only calls Dudikoff Matthew, and he keeps going, "It's Matt." And he goes, "No, Matthew." And that's how you keep the two separated the entire time.
Yes, Matthew, yes. And then when they meet up, and they clasp hands when they meet up, and they're like,
"Wait, you have Chuck Norris play his dad."
They do the whole thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah, because like Chuck Norris is what, like 80 something now, and so just do that. Maybe
I don't know if they're that far apart in age, though. Really, Dudikoff ain't looking the greatest right now.
He may see this, by the way, so just.
Michael Dudikoff is the greatest person ever.
If that's the worst thing we've said this stream, I think we're doing great, guys.
No, we've said a lot of positives. Only Charlie, whose podcast link I did put in the thing, you might want to,
You may want to take that off there. I'm just waiting for Sean to unzip his hoodie and it says
This is the guy who said he doesn't like Michael Dudikoff.
Cancel him.
I love Michael Dudikoff. Please subscribe. Steven loves Michael Dudikoff. Please check out his channel. Sean loves Michael Dudikoff. Please check out his channel. This guy doesn't like Michael Dudikoff.
He's gone now. See, he's gone. Never to return.
Out of shame, he's left.
Oh, now I'm on the bottom.
Oh, now you're at the bottom. Where you belong.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, I don't know what his skincare regimen is right now.
Here we are. Unrelated, but looking forward to Beekeeper. We'll try to check out an IMAX. Surprisingly, the critics don't hate it like usual Statham movies. Yeah, I've seen it already, and it's awesome. It's actually one of his best movies.
I'm seeing an IMAX tomorrow. So Jimmy B here next week, same time for the Beekeeper stream.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing.
We're going to dissect the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Be here.
Yeah,
be here
or B square. Right. Now, I gotta tell you, this is hardly a spoiler, but anyone who's on my Facebook knows that line of dialogue. A bad guy says to him, "To be or not to be," and Statham goes, "I'll take option B."
Is that in the film?
That's in the film. That's cinema.
I have a feeling I'm going to be by myself in IMAX tomorrow night. Just
I know. Nobody seems to go to the movies anymore anyway, so it's like Barbenheimer and that's it. Like nothing else has made any money since. I don't think.
If I'm alone in IMAX, I can't wait. I cannot wait to be alone in IMAX.
Yeah.
I was alone for the Silent Night movie. Great buzz.
Well, I said my review. It's the bee's knees. I'm sorry, I thought that was quite ingenious. Unbelievable fight scenes. But yeah, I mean, the hilarious thing is like Statham's character is like it's like mass murder, and I was like, wait, aren't they on your side? I'm like, all right. So it's going to be fun talking about it because I just think the film is a riot. It's like it's an old school Invincible badass movie.
Yeah, I like that.
Whereas, oh, I'm shot. Oh, sellotape. Then that's it.
The people in my office were like, I was like, I'm going to go see The Beekeeper. Like, we don't know what that is. And I'm like, Jason Statham movie. And one guy's like, I've seen it. I'm like, how did you see? He's like, well, I've seen a Jason Statham movie, so therefore I've seen them all. And then this other guy was like, he goes, let me guess, he's an ex-special forces or CIA. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Like, I mean,
yes.
Like,
he has bees. He's an army of bees.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he wasn't. He never uses an army of bees. Like I was hoping he'd like breathe bees or something, or control them and be like, go kick their ass, my pretties, or something, and then the bees would go off.
He doesn't Candyman their ass.
No, too bad. But yeah, Beekeeper versus Bricklayer. Bricklayer was actually all right. I got a lot of shit reviews, but I was like, it's Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
You did Cliffhanger.
It is great to have the theater stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I had my legs up. Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah.
But like, pants off, pants unbuttoned, legs up in the air.
Yeah, that's just Steven during Saw X.
Oh man.
It's just great because Saw X was like a smaller theater, so people it was really intimate. Like when you're in the IMAX, nobody knows what's going on. It's like, it's enormous. But Saw X, there was like 5 people in the theater. They're like, "Well, these guys are really weird in the behind." And I always buy the tickets for everybody because I don't trust any of you guys to buy stuff. So I just buy tickets for everybody, and I always buy the back row. So we're all like hovering in the back and. Who are these weird guys in the back? Like
Waldorf and Statler's all in the back, laughing their asses off, reviewing the movie as they watch it.
And the funny story is that same theater is where I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Owen and his brother, and I was crying with laughter at the end of that as well.
Oh, everyone was crying with laughter on that one though. I've seen that movie probably 30 times, like easy. I've watched it multiple times in one day. I cannot get enough of it. I love it. It's probably one of my
watch. Yeah, it's just like a hangout movie.
Yeah, I love it. I want to live in the movie. I think it's a masterpiece. Like
I've had it on in the background a couple times.
Me too.
Like I don't know what this is good enough because it's one of those that if I pay attention to it for a second, I'm like, it was cool, and go right back to doing what I was doing a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That and Wolf of Wall Street for some reason is another one I can do that with.
I got to rewatch that. I saw it and I thought it was like okay, but I don't know. I think I just missed it. I didn't appreciate it.
Well, really. Margot Robbie are really what elevate that movie. I think she's fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, and she helped others elevate things too.
Yeah,
everyone felt elevated on that one.
The best scene is the scene whenever he's stoned on the drugs. And he's trying to crawl to his car. He's like,
yeah, he's got a drive and everything, and he's just completely wasted.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But,
Sean heard Margot Robbie. Now he's off camera.
That is weird. When he comes back on.
Everything's good. Everything's fine.
Your pants are unzipped.
Put down the pentangle, Sean. Put down the pentangle.
We need to see both hands, please. During this.
So, wow, we've done this in under an hour. There's not really any. Is anyone else who has this to say?
Let me look at my notes here.
Yeah, check your notes.
Yeah, let me see mine. I kind of sort of wrapped it up quite quick. Oh,
another thing. When Matt is called in, I know this is a trope, but it's a little bit different this time. He comes in and they're like, "Well, we want you to." This is why. Is it? What's the head of the? Is it Brian? What's the head of the
Brown or something like? I call him Admiral because that's
Admiral. Yeah. So the Admiral guy's like, we want you to go in. We want you to go in and stop these guys, and he declined. So this is why I wasn't 100% sure it was the Admiral because why would he ask him?
Yeah.
But also Dudikoff, Matt Hunter says no, he doesn't want you. It's very clear that he's like, look, I've got my family stuff going. I like being on the ranch. I'm just visiting my buddy. It is a trope of, I don't want to go on the mission, then I'm going to go on it like in every other
hero.
But it made more sense here because we saw more of the way the family is operating. So it's not as contrived as it like I was like, Rambo, no, I don't want to do it. Look, Rambo, I know you're going on this mission because I paid money to see this movie, so you're going on this mission.
Right. Well, I took it as because it was right after the attack. he says, I got to stay close
to
Steve James. So it's the Admiral trying to divide them because he knows
interesting.
Matt is going to, because I mean, Matt ends up being the main protector. Steve James kicks ass.
Yep.
But Matt is the one that they are going like, yeah, this guy and Steve James, they're untouchable. So if he puts him on a mission that he's in control of, it's like, hey guys, this guy's in on it. You know, they can kill him easier, and then they can take out Steve James completely.
That's a good point. No, that's a very good point. And another thing too, Pentangle initially doesn't want to hunt. They're like, oh, we should put him in the game. They're like, look, we got to take care of business. So it was actually cool because they are thinking big picture first. Like, look, we don't have time to play these games or whatever. But I think they felt insulted, and then they're like, you know what? F this guy. Let's hunt him down and
he killed 11 of our best guys.
Best guys.
Yeah. Even the younger kid goes, well, we should get him. We need to bring him into the fold, and that
was cool.
Yeah. But then the other guy's like, no, he is one of those that are completely. You're never going to break him. He's too pure for what you want him to do, and that's when they decide. Because I mean, the hunt only happens out of desperation. Like they can't keep sending the people. That one dude failed twice. It's kind of like that. They gave him that extra thing. They brought him back in there.
You don't even see him die. They just leave him lying there bleeding, and he's like begging, and they just walk away and leave him.
He's almost like Will Ferrell on Austin Powers. I think it's getting gangrenous. I smell almonds. Just the whole thing. But
his dying is sort of realistic. That he's just this very like nebbish man, and he looks like a stockbroker basically. Yeah. And he gets killed, and he reacts basically the same way I probably would have if I was shot. Like
realistic,
pathetic, and just like totally like fetal position. I'm done.
I probably shit my pants as well.
Yeah,
no, I do Steven Seagal. I'd be like, you think this means something? Like you shot?
Shit.
He would reach in, pull the bullet out, and then eat the bullet. He's like,
or crunch it up and then spit it back and
yeah. This is nothing. This is nothing.
This is nothing. Let me see what else. Kill the kids.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts on Beekeeper next week. Yeah, that should be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll try and put in as many bee puns as I possibly can.
We'll also just write as many as we can so we have them ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Just we'll all be buzzing about it.
So excited! I got hives from it. Like that.
Beehive yourself.
Yeah, beehive. That's a good one.
Everyone, just be positive. I think we'll end this now.
like subscribers are literally dropping.
We have minus 20 subscribers.
What happened here? Well, we
got to the hour mark, so that's good. What do you guys have coming up? Anything cool this week?
Let's see. What do I have? Actually, I do. Next week is our 3-year anniversary of the podcast.
Whoa.
We've been podcasting for 3 years now. Doing awesome. We're closing in on 20,000 downloads. Probably we'll hit it right before our anniversary. So yeah, it's going good. I haven't announced it there. So if someone's watching here and you listen to the podcast, you're going to get information I haven't even said on the podcast because I'm keeping a secret. We are recovering the very first episode. We were doing Delta Force.
Nice.
What started the entire thing. I want to, because Nate and Pete weren't there for that one when we did it. So now I'm bringing it right back on our 3-year anniversary of covering Delta Force. And then we got some people writing in their first action movie memories. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's a good idea. There was something I was going to say, which would be an interesting one, like a topic for discussion would be, who do we think are the next action heroes, like the next generation? I wrote something like that like years ago.
What are we going to do after the 5 minutes, though?
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. In fact, we should talk about it now. Fuck it. But like, there's like Scott Adkins, Frank Grillo, I suppose. But even then, these guys are like in their 40s or 50s. But
they're getting older.
Yeah. But in terms of young guys, I do like Chris Hemsworth. He's good in the Extraction movies. I like him. That's what it takes. Yeah.
I like Tom Hardy.
Hold on a second. Cap the age.
Basically under 40. Yeah.
Under 40. Under 40.
Well, action stars were always in their 30s.
Okay. So under 40.
Look, the young kids we get now look like Timothy Chalamet or whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what they all like when they spit out. That's what they look like. You know?
Puny girly man.
And even Hemsworth, he's too much into comedy. He's really like you could see he's into comedy all the time.
He actually was he's very comedic even in his early stuff. You ever watch Cabin in the Woods? It's very comedy driven on the way he does stuff. So I think it just comes naturally to him.
Well, he wanted comedy in Thor, and look how that panned.
Ragnarok was good. Okay, I will defend Ragnarok.
You can defend it, and I defend it as well. But in my defense of it, I have to admit that was the start, and we talked about this on my stream actually not too long ago. That was the start of the decline, where it's like now everyone's jokey and stupid. It's like,
I mean, to me, I think that one because it didn't get
too crazy.
Right. To me, it's one of the better like comic book movies. It feels.
I love it.
I
love it as a movie and adventure, but as a Thor movie, it's awful.
Well, it doesn't fit the other two. I'll admit that, but to me,
it doesn't fit Thor. Like Thor is a serious character, like not and Loki's jokey and everyone's jokey in it, right? That was the only thing.
That's always been my thing with like the MCU, particularly lately, is that far too much is turned into jokes, so there's no threat.
The characters are undermined. That's the problem.
Yeah,
like there's comedy in Terminator 2, right? There can be comedy in movies, but not to make the character look stupid. This is the problem. Like the characters become goofy. They go to director's room. I know.
I actually have to agree. I'm not a fan at all.
No, his own unique creations are good. That Jojo Rabbit. We literally had this conversation on my stream last week on my MCU stream, and it's like Taika Waititi can direct. Like his show is good. That pirate flag one. I can't remember.
Our Flag Means Death.
Our Flag Means Death. It's pretty funny. It's fun. That was a fun show. I watched the first season. That Jojo Rabbit is a good movie. Ragnarok is a very well made movie, and it looks amazing, and it's super colorful. The music's great.
I love it.
I love the movie. I love it. I've got the soundtrack, everything. I've got all the toys from it. I collected the toys and made the big Hulk. Like I've got everything, but it's not. It's the decline of
the beginning of the end.
I'm sure if I look at it that way, I agree with you on that. But to me, I look at it completely separate of everything. Where I just like it's almost my comfort Marvel movie. My favorites are like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier and all that.
That's just silly to not say that. But for one, I want to watch out of just pure enjoyment, have fun with it.
Yeah,
I throw Ragnarok in.
No, I mean, I liked everything. It's just I love it as a movie. It's got Jack Kirby influences all over, but it's not a good Thor film. No. It's just and Loki's goofy and Valkyrie stinks. Like, God, she's so awful. I can't stand her.
I hate Valkyrie as a character. That character through all of them.
And she
the point of her, she's just annoying.
She's annoying, and she is so good in Defenders, the comics.
Yeah.
Like she's an awesome character, man. And like they really ruined that character's been assassinated. Like people don't really read Defenders. Like Sean and I are the only one who read Defenders.
That's why I don't like any of
I hate that so much, man.
I hate it. And
even Professor Hulk couldn't be arsed with that either.
That's awful too.
Yeah, I'm like people over in the comics or whatever. I don't fucking care. Why do we never just get to see the Hulk be the Hulk?
I can tell you that Professor Hulk is not the real.
That's not the Professor Hulk. I know it's not the real Professor Hulk, anyways, though, right?
But here's a name for you, Owen. Louis Tan, who looks great. It's just he hasn't had the role yet. I've seen that he's been awesome in.
Yeah, no, he would do it. Yeah, Tony Jaa's still young enough. He's only in his 40s or 50s. I mean, he can still move eco-wise.
What's that kid's name from Battleship and John Carter?
Taylor Kitsch or whatever.
Yeah, Taylor Kitsch. Yeah. I always liked that guy, man.
Like he was in a string of flops like John Carter and Battleship. So there was
John Carter.
I like both of those movies.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. Like we can talk about like future action stars, but the problem is that Hollywood can't meet them halfway.
No,
and just look at The Rock. Like, it's like I can't name you an equivalent of Commando or Terminator or True Lies from that guy's vast catalog of films.
Yeah.
And when you watch Ballers, he's awesome. When you watch his movies, I don't get what's happening.
I think Faster was the closest one.
Faster's his best movie. Yeah.
It's not really his movie.
One where I was thinking, hold on, here we go. This is we're getting something.
15 years, but
Faster and Walking Tall.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the Rock I wanted for action movies.
That's what we all wanted, because we were like, oh, this guy's actually going to be an action star. And then, frankly, he fucking sold out and is just more interested in the money and the family movies.
Yeah.
And he just plays the same character in everything.
The second you sign that Disney contract, you're fucked.
You're done.
That's just how it is. You're not allowed to be. You can be the big guy, but you also have to have a heart of gold.
Yeah, and you have to make fun of yourself and not be badass or anything else.
Exactly.
But my point is, nobody brought vision to that guy. That's the thing. I mean, he is. He's awesome. He's bigger than life. Everyone loves him. But his movies, like Skyscraper and all that, one of the big marquee movies for him. And that's the problem with anyone who wants to be an action star. It's probably not going to happen.
No.
Well, they immediately want to be Schwarzenegger. They immediately want to be, and even this is going on to the actors as well. Hollywood wants you to be that because you're going to make them money. But the actors get in their heads, and I'm sure it happened to The Rock. I'm the next Schwarzenegger. I'm going to be the next greatest action hero, and it could have worked had he stayed along the lines of Hobbs and Shaw, where he did that stuff. That I still enjoy that movie as far as him being action in it. But as a good actor and an action lead, it was his first few movies. It's just there. And he was okay as Black Adam, but he put all his eggs in that basket. And he was banked on that. And it was like, you backed the wrong horse, dude.
Yeah. And he was so arrogant behind the scenes, and that's what helped fuck up the DCU. So
he's going around making deals outside of DC. He's the one that's going around talking to Henry Cavill. He's going around talking to all these people like, nah, I'm going to carry the DC from now on. Fucking no, man. They're like,
Black Adam's a villain. He's never had a self-titled series. He's maybe had one or two miniseries, maybe. I don't
like one shots. I think they had Black Adams.
This is not the character you back as your guy now, and it's like he's a villain. I don't know. I didn't mind Black Adam. It's a fun little.
It was watchable. I finally started. It's like I waited forever to watch Shazam and ended up actually liking that first one.
Yeah,
so I watched. It was fun. It was a teenage kid movie, but then I watched Black Adam going, this ain't bad.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, Dr. Fate and all that shit's awesome in it.
He was awesome.
No draw to it. It's
there's
and it's like, why did you make this for all the Black Adam fans? What is happening here? Why'd you pour over $200 million into this? Like, it's just lit it on fire. Like,
it's overly CG. Like, there isn't a character there that doesn't need some millions of dollars put into it to make them appear on screen. It's like, what the fuck is this? Why does this need to be here?
Why is Hawkman in this thing?
Steve, sorry, you start saying your favorite is.
My favorite's San Andreas, and that was a disaster movie, but I thought he was terrific in it, and I actually really enjoyed the movie.
I thought Alexandra Daddario was better in it, but
well,
she's in anything. She's the best.
You weren't listening to her; you were just.
And Carlos Gugino too, man.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like I gotta watch this now. I just panned that movie.
Their mother and daughter.
Yeah.
She's in Baywatch with
the ultimate fantasy.
Hey man, put down the pentangle.
You can watch it with one hand.
Only need to hit the pause button, man. That's it.
And never cancel.
Again.
And before I wanted to tell everybody to make sure to watch. We've got our Daredevil stream coming up. Don't cancel me yet. We just started Daredevil last week. Give me a break.
So Jay, what do you got coming up this week then? Then we'll wrap it up.
So so our big one is we just started the Frank Miller run on Daredevil. Everyone says, "Oh, Frank Miller's run on Daredevil is so good." Well, you want to know why it's good? Tune in on Fridays while we go through every issue, and it is damn good. I got pumped up again from it. I've got the omnibus. I am going to get the original issues now. I've got a few of the keys, but I do want to get that run. And we started watching Daredevil again, just the TV show, just to get you start watching it again and you forget how garbage all this other Disney crap is and all these other superhero shows. But anyways, so that's every Friday for now. And then every Monday, of course, is the Legion of Superheroes live stream. We're on episode 29 29 episodes covering the Legion of Superheroes, three appearances per stream. So holy crap, like we're and there's a lot to go. So every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes. And are we doing anything special? And everyone can come on for this. So I'm gonna try to get like a day where we can get together. And I want to do Batman Forever versus Batman and Robin, the space versus. So story, pacing, artistry, characters.
Should I be in for that? Because I want to watch both of them again.
Yeah.
I'm the 4K. Yeah. Batman Robin 4K is effing unreal.
I don't doubt that at all.
It's unreal.
Question, actually, I asked this recently to someone. I don't know if I've ever discussed this with you guys, but with the 4Ks, do you ever find they freeze and crash a lot?
No. Yeah, like Dracula. And then I replaced it and it froze and crashed anyway. I'm like,
yeah.
So you got to be careful with the 4Ks.
So is it the disc or is it the players though?
I don't know. I mean, my player was like it's an LG and it was like $400, which isn't a small amount of money. That should be good.
It's not. That should be good. Because I haven't had any issues because I run my 4Ks through my Xbox and I haven't had any like crashing.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm thinking because it can get regularly updated. So that's what makes me wonder. Even if you replaced your disc, it could be that your player just.
But it freezes But mine froze at the exact millisecond as the other one. So that's a big coincidence.
Yeah. Mine freeze.
I mean,
pretty much any 4K I buy when I'm in the UK. Right, and they're supposed to be region free, and I'm like, okay, okay, but then always about like halfway through they freeze.
You know what it is,
and I eject and shoot back in.
You know what it is? It's because they're dual layered.
Mm-hmm.
So DVDs used to be flip discs.
Yeah, I remember.
Then they got dual layer. Now 4K, I don't know if 4Ks are supposed to be dual layer because there would be if DVDs were dual layered, a lot of times they would freeze for just a half second for it to go to the next layer on the player. Now that was the old DVDs. Blu-rays, Blu-rays. I don't think Blu-rays are dual layered.
I think they got them to where they could put everything on one layer. So 4K should be
4K is a Blu-ray, right?
Right. Yeah. I would.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I would look up and see if there's a way for you to like hook up your 4K player to the internet and see if it does updates,
a firmware update, maybe.
Like probably. A firmware, because it could be a bug thing that's going on with it. Because it just automatically does it on my Xbox, so I never know.
But game consoles run higher, like because of the
processing speed.
Exactly, they're way more. Most people just use their PlayStation or Xbox or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. He was saying we got a Plex server my buddy uploads on.
Oh, yes.
It comes down to how you're, getting it inputted. Through my Xbox, I don't lag as much, but others, and he's made like a tower for his shit. Like he's got his entire collection on. So it's usually not on his end. It's whoever's streaming it because it's trying to give you the best quality. It's not like, Netflix where it'll just be like, well, we'll just drop it down to 4080p for a second and then we'll go back up to high def.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're a tech channel over here.
Next week for various technical issues we don't solve. Right. So anyway, Avenging Force is good.
Love it.
We all really like it.
That's the movie we did, right?
Yeah. So we talked about 20 minutes about Avenging Force and then everything else.
I talked about how great Michael Dudikoff looks now, and I mean these guys.
We all love Michael Dudikoff, and we all come back.
They kicked me out of the stream, Michael, because I was like, man, he looks fantastic for his age. No, I was kicked out.
Well, next week, this time, same time as this stream, 8 p.m. Eastern, is going to be Beekeeper. So we're going to talk about that. And then what are we going to do? Reacher when that's completed, season 2?
Yeah, we'll do once that's finished. I don't know how many more weeks there are. I think it might be another 2 or 3. Is it 2?
2 episodes left.
Okay, so we'll do that at some point. I don't. Fuck, it's been a couple of years since I watched season 1 again, so I'll have to.
It's so easy to sit down and watch, though. I'm like, I binge that one now. Just anytime I just want to watch it.
Yeah, I did that in 2 sittings. Sean did that in like 1 day or something. Yeah, Sean did.
I might just rewatch it again then because I love season 1. I love the characters. I don't need to watch all of it. I might just watch like the final episode or whatever. Just
some refresher, type things on it.
But we'll do a Reacher one as well. I'm determined to Die Another Day one. So we'll do that.
So next week Beekeeper, then Die Another Day.
Then we'll do Reacher.
And by that time Reacher should be done.
We can also talk about. We've all seen the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movie, so we can talk.
I haven't seen the second one, so I need to rewatch the first. I saw in the theater.
It's crap.
They're all different books.
Second one is garbage.
Yeah.
They're all different books though, so none of them are actually comparable. Like they're all. And the first Reacher movie didn't do the first Reacher book, which is kind of weird.
I know, it's strange, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's sort of. I do hate how everything these days, and we'll talk about this in the stream, is that where everyone has to have a team. You never get a lone badass anymore. It's always like, oh, I have to have a team after this, and then fuck off. I remember that's why I stopped watching The Flash. We are the Flash. It's like, are you?
I don't anymore with that. That and he had to cry at the end of every fucking episode.
Yeah, I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't fast enough. And shut up.
And then all the characters berate him. They're like, Barry, you should do this, that, and the other. I'm like, I'm sorry, are you the fastest man alive? It's like, why you go do something?
What superpowers you have? Oh, wait, none.
But the problem is the very next season, they did get superpowers, and they are just fast.
Yeah. And everyone is the Flash then, and you're just like, this is shite.
It's like if you live near the Green Arrow, you get to be the best archer that ever lived. If you live near the Flash, eventually you'll get the Speed Force. It's totally how those shows work.
That's just what happens,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Avenging Force is awesome.
Avenging Force is great. Michael Dudikoff's great. We love Cannon.
Yes.
That's about it. And you're the Action League. Goodbye.